Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out Jungkook's official music video for Standing Next to You, I believe one of his most recent songs that is making a huge splash in the music scene all over the world, getting him on shows like Jimmy Fallon and more. So very excited to check this out. Guys, this is a reaction and analysis, so I will be pausing to talk primarily about the vocal technique as that's where my expertise lies. I will include a link to the full video below if you'd like to watch all the way through. Then come back if you want to learn about more what he's doing and how he's doing and what makes him such an immense talent. Now, this is my first time hearing Jungkook, so super excited to hear him for the first time and break it down. Guys, please do like, subscribe, leave a comment for the algorithm, hit the bell, and if I'm enhancing your listening experience, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Without further ado, let's check it out. Before we get into the singing, this like retro, like rock disco kind of beat, this is like pretty crazy. This is so different from, I just did a video for Taemin's version, or Taemin's music video for Guilty, which is very like, it's this cool balance of electronic and orchestral elements that I talk a lot about in that video. This is like a totally different vibe. Very, very cool. We got these like thick, plunky, synthy bass lines. We got big, you know, washed out crashes from the drums, big brass section. Very cool. So there's really not much brass actually. There's a lot of like very heavy, heavily distorted guitars going on, kind of swimming all over the place.
On this funk and give me miracles. Making known how we love to ride is something we control.
I have heard this artist because this artist is from BTS, right? Which I've done a few videos for. Okay, so I'll approach the vocal technique here. We're gonna wind it back a little bit. First of all, I love the groove of this song. Anytime you give me a clean kick snare, I'm obsessed. And also there is a lot of brass. There wasn't so much right at the beginning, but there's definitely a lot of brass hits, like trumpet section going on. Very cool. Yeah, very like disco-y. It feels very much like new disco, like 70s. Anyway, vocal technique, what's up? Woo! So that's it. So that's like a little introduction line almost. Standing next to you. And it's very breathy, intimate sounding, and it's also heavily multi-tracked, so it sounds like there's a bunch of him kind of panned around the music scene here. But it's cool. It's kind of a funny little intro. Just that one line, standing next to you, and then it gets into the kind of meat of the song a few seconds later.
I push up on this funk and give me miracles. Making known how we love to ride is something we control.
So, kind of as you'd expect, we get a breathier sound towards the bottom of his range, so kind of relaxing the voice down. More air is actually escaping in the voice. And then as he ascends into his higher range, we get a much more efficient sound. We get into that kind of belt style singing as he ascends in that chest range, maintaining the chest voice connection And the vocal folds, during each of the vocal folds oscillations, they kind of look like this when they're oscillating. If it's a more pure sound, if less air is escaping, that means that the sound is going to have a higher harmonic content. It's going to have more cut in the sound, more bite in the sound. And it means literally during each oscillation of the vocal folds, they are together for a higher percentage of time. That's called the closed quotient. So as he ascends in his range, so does the percentage of that closed quotient. It tracks very linearly. Let's just see how high he's singing at. It's not high for him yet, but it is in the getting up into that belt range. A4. So tenor high A, or a minor third below tenor high C. This is not extremely high for a tenor voice, but it is most definitely high. This is getting into the for sure in the upper chest range. Absolutely. And Jungkook handles it with ease. So like on the last word of each of these phrases, play me slow and then miracle, listen to how much he pulls off the voice. He starts the voice nice and connected, and then by the end it's almost like a whisper, which really is nice. It gives us a lot of dynamic range. Instead of play me slow, boring. He goes, play me slow, and then pulls off at the end. So it adds this nice contrast moment to moment. Ready? Add a little variation there. Control. Adds a little riff in there, a little 4 to 5 note riff, just to make it a little different from the melody right before. It's a repetition of the melody with different text, and he's adding a little something there just to make a distinction between that, those first couple lines and then this next couple lines. How we love to ride is something we control. Before we get into that, now I know who this sounds like. This really sounds like Daft Punk. The production and even some of the vocal editing, the kind of vocal coloring and almost like synthesization of the vocal color, of the vocal timbre, sounds very much like Daft Punk. And also the groove is very Daft Punk as well. So that's that tenor high C that I mentioned earlier, and that was obviously in a much lighter mechanism. Still very good vocal fold closure, which is actually difficult in that part of the range if you're operating in that M2 vocal production. M1 is pure chest voice. M2 is a head voice or falsetto for male singers. So you can tell it's a much lighter mechanism. Usually, when a singer flips up to that point, it gets pretty breathy, unless it's well trained and it's been done a lot, which of course Jungkook has done plenty of head voice falsetto singing. I've certainly heard plenty of it in his performances with BTS. So instead of getting a breathy sound up there, you get a very clean, pure sound that still has a lot of edge and cut to it, which is awesome. Listen just for that high note. Still has that ping to it. See how smooth his registration is going up into that head voice and then back down out of it? It's very actually difficult to tell exactly where he switches because his register shifts are so clean. Ready for this? I got into it. Ooh!
Standing next to you.
I'll make a point. It would be easier to tell, you know, out of a studio setting, not amplified, nothing, just like a very acoustic setting. Like if you were standing right here next to me singing it, the volume would give it away a lot more. The pure chest singing is going to be louder. Very loud. The high chest belting is going to be much louder than the kind of low falsetto. But as far as the vocal quality, you can tell when he shifts, but it's very smooth. It's an excellent transition of registers.
Just the time they can't deny our love. They can't divide us, we'll survive the test of time. I promise I'll be right here. Standing next to you. Standing in the fire next to you. Oh, you know it's deeper than the rain. It's deeper than the pain. When it's deep like DNA. Something they can take away. Hey, tick, 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 and tick off.
Just a crazy section. Also, I just mentioned this in the Taemin video. I'm no dancer. I can dance well enough to, you know, be in beat, and I can move my body in beat, and that's good enough for most dance floors. I don't know. I'm so far from an expert, but I very much appreciate good dancing. And it seems like all these K-pop artists are both really strong singers and really strong dancers, which is awesome. And I'm not going to comment in detail on it, but my respect goes out to people who can do both quite well. That's a cool kind of like, the singing rhythm's a little bit different from the background. The background's just bum 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 bum. The singing da 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 da, and it kind of makes these like clashing rhythms happening, but it sounds very cool. Right here. Right here. What? Woo! That saxophone at the end. So the chorus, like vocally, is very simple. Standing next to you, an octave up, and there's a lot of it's so cool. They've got this really crisp beat, like right in your face. This kick drum snare pattern, but then they also have like a ton of atmosphere. Like all the space in the mix, if you have headphones on, is just totally filled out. There's like all these extra, very atmospheric, reverbed out instrumentation and synths happening, which fills the sound. So you have this very crisp beat right in your face. Kind of in between the two elements, you have the voice in this case, which is a little reverb and it's breathy and intimate and it's not belting. And then you've got all this atmosphere happening. So it's a very cool vibe. You've got like all the elements covered. Like the drum is the clearest feature here. Oh, that's I love that. Woo! Okay, so very, very short second verse, and we're already into the pre-chorus again. It's just a couple lines there, but he does do something different vocally. He goes up higher and kind of sustains it. So we're in D minor, F major, up to E5 above tenor high C. In again that lighter mechanism, but still very connected. I would call it a mix for sure, not just pure falsetto. It's a mix going on. So they maintain some of the weight in the sound, but he's obviously not just like yelling to get up there, which it would be if it were pure chest voice. There's a mix happening, there's a lightness to it, but there's also an efficiency to it. Again, he keeps the edge and the brightness in the sound, and it makes for just a very high quality, yet, you know, sustainable and reliable mixed belt up there. It's nice. And we're already back into the pre-chorus. So just to flag this registration, because I didn't the first time I talked about it, you can very clear there are three high notes in this. Those three high notes, the first two are always in his head voice, the falsetto, lighter mechanism, well-connected falsetto, whatever you want to call it. And the third one, he's in chest for. It's more of like a belt. So you can hear the difference in actual vocal timbre there, which would result in a volume difference, but we can't tell in this context. There it is. Okay, I'll flag this one. Ready? Head voice, chest voice. Okay, that's the high A again, a belt on that O. Haven't heard him carry the chest voice all the way up to high C yet, although I think he probably can. Those drums are just right in your face. Okay. So this time is very similar to the first chorus, I would call it. It's kind of an unusual chorus, right? Because it's vocally very low maintenance. It's mostly like the percussion is where it's at. We do get a little bit of extra vocalisms happening kind of in the background, kind of blending in with that atmospheric context, that kind of atmospheric background that's happening. We do get some more what's intended to sound kind of like ad-lib singing, riffing, whatever. But it is slightly different from the first time we heard it. Right? That's all new. Yeah. Yes, trumpets. Big fan of the fight dance choreo. Oh, it's so sick. And the trumpets coming in hot. Yeah, so, all right, so that last bit, we got kind of all the elements. So we got standing next to you. We got the drums. We got that the trumpet solo going crazy. And we have a little bit of what I've been using the word descant a lot, if you guys watch my videos, because it just perfectly describes what happens in the last choruses of a lot, especially in the K-pop scene. It seems really popular, where you've got all the sounds happening, and then kind of above the sounds, you have a solo voice, like riffing, or, a descant is in sacred music, liturgical music, church choir music, where often on the final verse of a hymn, you'll have a soprano singing a different melodic line above everything else. That's a descant. In the last chorus of a lot of these K-pop songs, there's like a descant happening. You have all these elements, and then you have a higher voice only added during the last chorus that's kind of singing above everything. So I just keep thinking descant. So that's standing next to you. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, that is Daft Punk. This sounds so much like Daft Punk. That's like the B4. Is that a hip, a hop, a hippie, a hippie to the hip, hip, poppity don't. It's like a doom, a doom, 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 right? Fresh, super fresh. Oh my god, that funky bass line. Yes. Yes, Jungkook. Yo, so I'm having so much fun doing breakdowns for these K-pop artists. There's the production value is so high, the singing value is so high, the music videos are amazing, the choreography is amazing. That's just incredibly high budget productions. It's like a cinematic experience. Now, I generally don't comment on the music videos so much. I have toyed with the idea, which people actually seem really thrilled about, of bringing on a dancer to do a choreography breakdown while I'm doing a musical breakdown, and also maybe a video director to talk about all the video elements and to get kind of a comprehensive full breakdown. The videos would be like an hour long, probably at least. So if you guys would like to see that, please leave a comment below. Any other videos you'd like me to react to and analyze, leave those comments below. I know some people really like watching the video straight through to see a reaction, and that's just not what I do here. I'm here to enhance your learning, your musical experience, so you enjoy music more, so you appreciate these artists more. It's one thing to enjoy listening, and it's a whole nother level to listen and enjoy it while kind of understanding why you like it and what makes it so great and why these artists are so famous and successful, you know, what makes them so special. So that's what I'm here to do. It brings me great joy to do it. It brings me great joy. Good Lord, this Taemin video, a bunch of comments have come in there. People are like, we've been waiting for someone to do a video like this. Like they're sick and tired of just watching someone go, wow, this is cool. And there's no input. Those comments bring me great joy to see people who are like, yes, thank you for like shedding light on what makes these artists so great. I've been waiting for it. So that's what I'm here to do. That's my mission. A comment telling me you talk too much will not stop me from doing what I love and what I know so many people out there appreciate. So thank you guys for the support. Please do like this video, subscribe if you haven't, it's very helpful. Leave a comment, hit the bell, and consider joining my Patreon if I'm just, bringing more enjoyment to your musical experience every day. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.